I thought I'd do a live nice and early this time, but what's prompted this live is I've just watched on Sky TV a three-part documentary on Ghislaine Maxwell. And in the first part, because it's a three-parter, in the first part, yeah, they kind of try to gloss it over and move on a bit quickly, but one thing is clear. Yeah, Epstein was at the Daily Mirror on a regular basis meeting with Robert Maxwell. That's not hearsay, that's even in the mainstream documentary, which you will remember back at well, up until quite recently, till this documentary, everyone was thinking that she met him after her dad died. That then puts a kind of not a different spin, but it kind of shows you that Ghislaine was groomed 100%, probably sexually abused herself. She was always daddy's little girl, wasn't she? But it seems to me like, they just tried to put that in there, and there was loads of witnesses to him being at the Daily Mirror. So either they knew he was going to die or pretend to die, I don't know, right? And Ghislaine was clearly being groomed in his place, basically. And because I'm sure that's what Robert Maxwell was up to, blackmail. But I don't know if he's dead or not. I have no idea. I sometimes think that when someone's run out of their shelf life, as in, everyone knew Epstein was a blackmailer, so that would, and everyone knew Ghislaine Maxwell was a blackmailer. So that, I don't think that makes very good blackmailers. I don't know. But another thing that is really, really, really starting to really thingy me is there was another person involved in this Epstein scandal. Now, his name never comes up, no one mentions him, and it's Jean-Luc Brunel. Yeah. Now, from 2016, there were I knew of allegations against Jean-Luc Brunel, who was one of the biggest model. He run so many modelling agencies. I think over here he run UK models as well. But he had MC Squared. It started off as Karen Modelling, then it was MC Squared, and Epstein gave him the money to start up MC Squared. But what I do know, right, and I think this may be why they're trying to swerve away from Jean-Luc Brunel, is that Epstein's brother, I think his name's David, owns an apartment complex. And this apartment complex is for just models. I don't know whether he's still running it or not, but it kind of doesn't add up with them saying Jeffrey Epstein was a kind of a, he started off from humble beginnings. No, he fucking never. He comes out of the House of Hesse and the Habsburg jaw. That's what gives it away for him, the Habsburg jaw. There's no doubt about it. That man has got a Habsburg jaw. But I don't, because Jean-Luc Brunel was also found suicided. He was French, and it just like, there was just one mention of it, and it's not being mentioned no more. And I don't understand that, because he would have been right up there. And don't get me wrong, I'm not no fan of Ghislaine, but I think it's a raw deal that she's getting all of this. I mean, at the end of the day, there was a very, very, very well-known child procurer around then, and that was Jean-Luc Brunel. Jean-Luc Brunel was the guy who was supposed to have supplied him triplets, 12-year-old triplets for his birthday. I don't know why they're trying to kind of stay away from Jean-Luc Brunel, because That's just ridiculous. Hang on, where's my phone? Like, what I wanted to do, I wanted to interact. Oh, where's my phone? There's my phone. Hang on, I'm going to have a look at my comments. Because I do like interacting with my audience, you know, because they're quite, you know, it's just when you get them arseholes, but I'm stronger now. I'm kind of learning to adjust not having a dog because for 17 years I've had a dog. So kind of learning to adjust without a dog you know, I'm just doing it. But now I know that he's, oh yeah. Let me see what people are saying. Because I do like to, you know, oh, thank you. Oh, I see Blakewood was, yeah, Naomi Campbell, she's another one, man. She is like, she's there. She's everywhere. Like, she even done that. I put up that Mossad advert where they was advertising for people to support Israel and all that coup. Yeah, no, David Jason. I've heard some stuff about David Jason, and it's horrible because you know I love Del Boy. I really love Del Boy, but hey ho, yeah, I believe he could be the next Jimmy Savile, but we never know nothing until these people die. It's just fucking ridiculous. Oh, thank you. Yeah, no, you know, I'm kind of because obviously Ronnie had been gone a month before they, which I'll never know why they kept Ronnie for 1 month. But yeah, no, but you know, I know he's at peace now. I know he's at peace now, and I know he's with his mum. Well, at the very least, there's nothing. He's not scared no more. He's not in no pain. He's not wondering where I am. He's not, and at the very best, he's skipping about with his mum, you know, and he's not in them poxy kennels anymore, which means a lot to me. But yeah, I had him for, you know, 12 and a half, but I had his mum for 17 years. But yeah, no, it's thank you. That's really, everyone's been really sweet. But yeah, no, back again on this Ghislaine, because all their, like, I haven't heard Jean-Luc Brunel. I haven't heard, I mean, he got suicided I think it was either a couple of years ago or a year ago, and it just, like, come and then went again. But no one speaks about him anymore. Nobody. And I don't understand that, because that's fucking mad. Because he was right up there. It was Epstein, Ghislaine, and Jean-Luc Brunel. Yeah? And then it all started to fall on Ghislaine. I mean, I'm not gonna lie. Like, this documentary, it was good, and it kind of let slip a few things that I didn't know before, but it just kind of made me realise, Ghislaine Maxwell, she's just a fucking posh Myra Hindley. She's just a posh Rose West. That's all she is to me. She's a Rose West and a Myra Hindley with money, you know, which allows her to get away with so much more. Because you can't tell me they didn't kill kids. There's no way. No way, like, they didn't kill children. They kill children. They just get away with it, mate. They just get away with it. And I mean, Myra Hindley, Annie and Brady got away with it for a very long time. I think the other day I read that they'd found Keith Bennett. And I mean, it's not going to help his mum because his mum's dead now. She used to go digging up Saddleworth Moors. But, you know, I'm pleased. If it's his body, I'm pleased. Really, really, really pleased. But the only other thing is, like, how many more bodies are on the Saddleworth Moors? You know, because I don't believe that they only killed what they got nicked for. Same as Fred and Rose West. Look how long they got away with it. Yeah? So, you know, and Ghislaine Maxwell and Epstein, they're no different. They're no different. Yeah, they might live in big posh houses and shit, but they're no different. You know, and they used to look at their victims. I think Ghislaine said to someone, they're trash, they're nothing. Yeah? Well, even if you've got that kind of view, that gives you the right to, like, to because she was the one who was getting them, being a woman as well. It is, it's, and Myra Hindley done the same, Rose West done the same. If there's a woman there, that you feel safer. But yeah, it is the child abuse. I don't. They seem to keep that well under wraps, well under wraps. But I remember when Epstein first killed himself or whatever, right? When it was reported that he was dead, it turned out, because these are the days with YouTube, you can go down. Wait, what's that? One more. Yeah, oh, that Tom Hanks. Yeah, everyone knows about Tom Hanks. Fucking hell, like he did that rocked me. I'm not gonna lie. When I first found out about him, that actually fucking rocked me. But I think like he's it just, they still keep coming back from it all, right? And it just goes to show you how things can be just dismissed. I mean, Epstein, on his first prosecution in 2007, he was given a deal that it just didn't make sense. But there was an outcry. Nothing happened. They don't give a shit. They don't care about children. And the human trafficking, because these people don't really care as long as it's a body with a pulse. But a lot of the time it is children. 80% are women, but there is also men. But the human trafficking is worth more than the illegal drug trade and the illegal arms trade put together. So that, and there are a lot of people in this world that they're so disconnected from people. They believe that they're trash, because I do notice that they only seem to concentrate on the 14 and overs where Epstein was concerned. But nah, it goes low. Oh, that's what I was saying on YouTube. Sorry, I'm jumping about again a bit, but I just remembered what I was saying. This was the days when you could go down rabbit holes on YouTube. That's how I found all the researchers that I'd stick to now. Credible, brilliant, and memory hold as well. Big you up, man. Best researcher out there. But there appeared online, and it was from Epstein's driver, and his name was Obi. And he basically made a recording before he died. Yeah. And he said that, like, he went and done the picking up, like, of the girls and that. And he made no bones about his role in everything. And he said it, like, he paid me well, so I kept his secrets. And what was it he called? The booty duty, they used to call it. And he worked on his island for quite a long time, and he said that they're going to kill him anyway. So he basically, I think he committed suicide after he made the recording, and the recording's been scrubbed from the internet now. I'm gutted I didn't know Brian then, because I would have ripped that, because it was really good. And he would say, and he never made any qualms about his role in anything. He basically, and he was involved in a thing with what's his name? Oh, he's a very affluent family, like in America, and like he was a bit of a fixer as well. If things go wrong, but he said that there is the bathhouse, yeah, and none of the staff were allowed near the bathhouse. They was not allowed. None of the staff were. And Obi did say, like, that there have been times when a little boy come running out one time, and a female's meant to be his nanny, ushered him back in, and they never see the boy again. But then that's not surprising, like, because what's the best way to traffic children? right? You do it. The Disney cruises, yeah, were making stops at Epstein's Island, right? You can Google it. Anything. It's not me making it up. The Disney cruises used to stop at Epstein's Island, and they used to take the children on snorkeling lessons and everything. I believe that's why they was unloading the traffic. The kids that was in the cargo. Well, you know, who's gonna know? Who's gonna know? You fill a cruise ship with kids, and then you put whatever you want in the bow, and so there's definitely so much more to this story, so much more. And that reminds me, I found, right, on BitChute, I'm subscribed to him. I have watched his work before, but I was looking through my BitChute yesterday, and I thought, oh, Eddie English. I ain't looked at his stuff for a long time, and it's EDDY English, and he done Pizzagate 1, Pizzagate 2, Pizzagate 3, Pizzagate 4, right? And then I'm gonna post them up on Facebook because BitChute ain't got the share button anymore. So you don't but Brian said I only have to do it to the clip and paste it in, which is what I'm going to do after I come off. Because these documentaries, they're hard hitting, quite graphic at times, but I don't see how you can put a nice sheen on, and even I'd forgotten about some of the emails, yeah, and it reminded me there was so much. But the two that stand out a lot more than the ones that they published was, we have 4 surviving pizzas from last month's session. Now, what's surviving pizzas? It's just, and the ones oh shit, hang on, let me, yeah, Ellen DeGeneres, she's fucking terrible. But when you look at her, when you look at her, she had her own thingy on Wayfair as well. Like, she was making. She had a set of cushions that had astronomical signs on them, but then they was just called by a different name, which was very weird in itself. Because why would you have astrological pillows? And they was going for 20,000, 25,000. But even her, she's fucking wangled its way out of it. Wayfair managed to wangle their way out of it, because I've no doubt that Wayfair story was true. That's why they've completely scrubbed it from the internet. Yeah, completely. There's a lot of things that have been, you know, like, where are all the tapes and the hard drives from Epstein's mansion? Not the Palm Beach mansion where they raided it and been tipped off. It was a New York house, I think it was, right? And they bought out bags and bags and bags of tapes, yeah, and incriminating evidence. And I do not believe that the evidence is in Russia with Sean Atwood's fucking mate. But I think there's definitely a lot of covering up, and a lot of and that's why they put Biden in charge, because they could do that. I mean, I don't know if Trump would have it or not. I suppose, I don't know, but he did seem like the better option. And to be quite honest with you, I hope he runs again in 2024, because it's like, I've missed him on our news. He was funny, he was entertaining. He made me laugh. Yeah, it's. Let me see. No, Terramar project closed down the moment Epstein got arrested. So, who's after? Oh, Yeah, I still can't get used to fucking Charles being king. For me, it's just it's just a verified nonce now. He's on the throne. That's great. Yay. That's going to help our kids, isn't it? That's going to really help everyone. But yeah, no, I mean, everyone needs to go and watch this Ghislaine Maxwell thing because it's a new one that's come out. And like I said, that is the first time I've heard anyone kind of referring to Ghislaine knowing Epstein before, like her dad died, which 100% she did, and that shows, but it doesn't make her a victim. It just makes her being groomed to take over from her father. That's not victim. That's a willing participant, And like I said, what makes her different to Rose West or Myra Hindley? Yeah, what makes her different? There's no difference as far as I'm concerned. She's just a fucking posh, posh scumbag child trafficker. But yeah, no, and I would love to know why Jean-Luc Brunel has just gone away. Because when it first happened, everyone was like Ghislaine Maxwell, Jean-Luc Brunel, and then it's just about Ghislaine Maxwell, and what did Jean-Luc Brunel know that because it seems like they're throwing it all on Ghislaine, and she weren't the only one involved at all, it's but Brian and me do disagree with Virginia Guthrie because I believe that Virginia Guthrie was probably a victim, right, from early age, and the reason why she's been given money and she's being pushed as a victim, because she said it started when she was 17 years old. I don't believe that at all, and she's been paid to shut her mouth about what transpired before she was like 17 years old. There's no way, there's that, but I kind of do see where Brian's coming from, right? And I do, like, the jury's out where she's concerned, but one thing I know is that her evidence was not used in court to convict Ghislaine Maxwell. Her evidence wasn't used in court. So, whether she is fake or not, or the picture's fake or whatever, I don't know about that. But I can't see them coming back from this. But then stranger things have happened. But then I understand that puts Brian clearly in the firing line. But I feel so sorry for him. I really do. I really feel sorry for him because I'm not going to lie. If I found a video of someone filming outside my house, that it'd freak you out. It would freak you the fuck out. Have you noticed the butterflies and that are off the windows? I had to have that because Ronnie would stand on my settee, look out the window, and anyone he sees, you probably see the tree, I've got a massive field opposite me, and anyone he used to see going in the field, he used to go mad. And when Ronnie went mad, he was like, ah! So I had to put the stuff on the windows to stop it. But it's getting easier. It is getting easier, but I'll never ever stop. I'm never ever going to get another dog like Ronnie. I mean, I loved Missy to bits, don't get me wrong, but me and Ronnie, we was a bond. He was a beautiful dog, absolutely beautiful. And if it weren't for his wanting to kill everything that he saw, apart from humans, he would have been the perfect dog. He would have actually been an absolute perfect dog. But all in all, I had 12 and a half amazing years. I've got so many memories. But it's just like the little things. Like yesterday, I made some salt and pepper chicken wings, yeah? And it was like, like for a minute after, like, oh, we are on, it's them kind of, and them times hurt, but I'll never forget him. He was special. He was special. But he was a 24-hour job, mate. If Ronnie was up, I had to be on my toes. Yeah, because he was always up to something. But yeah, no, like I said, thanks for all the messages and from everyone. It is really nice. Let me just have a look. See if because sometimes I run out of things to say. Well, not run out of things to say, but I forget what I was going to say in the first place. Oh, go away. What's that? No, it's not coming up. Oh, well, great. That's great. It's not coming up now. Oh, what's going on? Oh, yeah. Yeah, Rachel Chandler. Yeah, she's another one. It was fucking, and I tell you who it was who put us on to Rachel Chandler, and that was Q. And to be quite honest with you, you fucking weren't wrong. Yeah, but what's happened to her? Because she was just as much of a procurer for Epstein as what Ghislaine Maxwell was. Thanks for that, because I'd forgotten about her, and I've done a lot of research into Rachel Chandler, and that is one evil son of a bitch. She's like, I don't know what Ghislaine Maxwell was like as on an evil, but Rachel Chandler is so satanic, so fucking. She's well evil, man. She's well evil, but she was married to Tom Guinness, and the Guinness family. They're another family. They don't really get so much press as the Rothschilds now, but Guinness family, don't get it twisted. They're involved in everything. Yeah, they're involved in our politics. Yeah, I mean, Matt Hancock was in their pocket. You know, and everyone. I've done a live about a woman called Nicole Junkerman. And she was another one. She was another piece of shit, and she used to fly Epstein round when he used to come to London. She used to take him around everywhere, and she was an Israeli model who kind of like made it very big in that world. And I think when you're a top agent of Mossad, they treat you very well. They even pretend that you're going to die. You can have. I don't know whether they've because Jean-Luc Brunel, he committed suicide as well, and there's been nothing about it at all. It's ridiculous because when you go back to when Epstein first got arrested, yeah, Jean-Luc Brunel's name was everywhere with Ghislaine Maxwell's, yeah. And Memory Hole's done a couple of videos on Jean-Luc Brunel. I have posted them up, but I'll post them up again because they're really interesting videos. And he was meant to have got Epstein the three triplets who 12 years old from France. What's getting stuff? Oh, it's on my screen. Sorry. No, but there's so many characters in this little thing, but you would just think it's Epstein and Ghislaine. Yeah. Now, an operation that big would it definitely, and Epstein's first deal was that so none of his co-conspirators could be prosecuted, and that makes me think that they got shit on Prince Andrew from 2000. Come on, let's face it. If he was it's yeah, and I believe that they've just tried to control the story that comes out. I mean, the story that comes out is not exactly good, but the fact that she was 17. She's not over the age of consent. She's over the age of consent because here it's 16. Surprised me, in America it's 18, but here it's 16. Which means that you can choose to have sex at 16, but you still can't go and see an 18 rated movie. I don't know. That's just so many conflicting bullshit. But yeah, I'm surprised that we're behind America. We're like America's 18, so in America he would have committed a crime, but here, but there's so much more. He's so involved, so involved. It's ridiculous. Um, well, that's about it. Let me just see if there's anything else. Because Rachel Chandler, a little bit more about Rachel Chandler. She runs a modelling agency called Midland Modelling Agency. Um, and she's definitely connected because two of the models that she put up, it was she put up 12 new models to watch. This was before Epstein got nicked, and two of them then appeared on MC Squared. Now, these people did not look like models. I don't care how much makeup or whatever you put on these women. They were not models. They looked like beaten. Yeah, you can see even the bruises were visible, and so the pictures on there. One of them was of a dead baby with a DHL box. Her social media, it was disgusting. It was absolutely disgusting. If you dig deep enough, you can probably find shit on Rachel Chandler, but she's another one. Yeah, she's disappeared, but I think her family own the Washington Post, or they did own the Washington Post, or I did. But, she's another one. Just walk away from it, And in all honesty, it happened with Fred and Rose. The investigation stops at Fred and Rose. And Myra Hindley and Ian Brady. It always stopped with them. And it ain't. It's all the same fucking paedophiles. Paedophile ring. Yeah, because I believe Tom Watkins was involved. Well, 100% he was involved. And that these people are not all separate offenders. These people all know each other. Yeah. And even with Michael Barrymore, I'm still telling you there was minors at that party. That's what the cover-up was. Yeah, there was minors at the party. Yeah, then that it's and it keeps going on and on and on and on and on. And now we've even got the Arts and Embassies programme, which legally allows them to traffic children. And traffic live human beings, whether like I said, mainly it's children or women. Occasionally you get a few men, but it's always the weaker ones, isn't it? And that just allows children to be trafficked legally, where there's no risk of any customs coming across them. And it's just bad. But anyway, I just wanted to do this live just on the just because I felt like I watched that Ghislaine thing, and it pissed me off. It pissed me off as well, because it's like there's been no mention of Ghislaine knowing that. I mean, obviously I kind of knew it, right? Well, figured it, that she knew him before her dad died, but this basically says that he was seen so many times in the Daily Mirror when her dad was alive. So you do the maths from now, and that's on a mainstream documentary, so they're not going to lie. They never lie. No, but they're not going to thingy, but they just kind of put it in now and then moved on. There was no, well, obviously there was something going on. Like, he would have met Ghislaine there at the Daily Mirror group with her dad. She didn't meet him in America after her dad died. Yeah, she was just being groomed to take his place, which shows me that he knew he was going to die, which then tells me that maybe he really didn't. But it's I don't think he was from a rich family. I don't think he was from an aristocratic family, because he would, his name was hot. They were very poor. But then that could just be another backstory, because they always put these fucking backstories with people. And there's no way of checking. But I did find it a bit weird that his whole family got wiped out by the Holocaust, and he was the survivor. And he might even be from, I don't know, that much I can't say. I really can't say. But anyway, as for ever, it's been a pleasure. Thanks for all your messages about Ronnie and things that it's lovely. But like I said, I'm kind of trying to get my life together a bit now and I'm getting used to it, getting used to not having to watch him or whatever. But yeah, thank you very much, and I shall